you, Senator Conrad. You've raised the challenges that's facing us very well, and I know have made a case that a lot of what we've done has been successful, and I understand that, but there are others who have concerns about what we've done and how well it's worked and how much we've accomplished. I'd like to get into the good discussion with our excellent panel, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot from them. It does appear we've been kicking the can down the road, and I thought that the roundtable discussion in Barron's with some of the world's biggest financial investors earlier this year raised some of the same problems and questions that you've raised, and maybe some others also, that lead us to a conclusion. We're facing a very, very serious national challenge that I believe this committee, as you indicated at our last meeting, will have to provide leadership for, and I would be glad to be with you in that effort. I had the honor to meet with Mr. McTeague, former Prime Minister of New Zealand, who took over a country that was running systemic deficits for quite a number of years, and he participated in leading that country to sustain surpluses and unprecedented economic growth and sound currencies. And he told me recently that he believed we need to have a goal of a balanced budget. I think that is a psychological, political question for us to ask. It's not easy to get there. I'm convinced we can get there, but the American people are goal-oriented. And if we can articulate for them a real substantial reduction in this debt and show them how there may be some short-term pain but long-term gain, I believe politically we're in a better situation to accomplish that than we've been in some time. I just would quote from that Barron's Roundtable interview with some interesting questions. Mr. Zuloff out of Switzerland said there are two worlds, the industrialized world and the emerging world. The industrialized world continues to live in a fiction that it can afford its current lifestyle by going further into debt. At some point, the bond markets will riot against that. The private household sector, not only in the U.S. but several industrialized countries, remain stretched financially and will continue to deleverage, reduce their debt. But the public sector is leveraging up, and there is the threat he suggests. Bill Gross, I guess, handles more money than any man in the world at PIMCO Bond Fund, said printing your way out of this or kicking the can is possible for some countries, but the solution isn't to create paper. It is to create goods and services that the rest of the world wants to have. They ask, what are the prospects for that? And he said the Obama administration has failed miserably in that regard. It is focused on consumption and fiscal stimulation that will give us 4% growth in 2011, his estimate. The estimates of these experts were from 2.5 to 4. He had the highest growth projection for this year. But then he adds, but it gives us nothing more than that. It's a sugar high that quickly disappears in 2012. And so we are facing some serious, grim prospects. The unemployment has not come back well as we would like to see it. Indeed, at the end of the year, the government survey indicates that the hours worked had not increased, which is an indicator that unemployment will go down if weekly hours are going up. That's not a good factor. The wage increases were slight, very slight this year, and below inflation, so that puts our net wage income not in a very good position. The amount of jobs added look better than they are because we have to add, what, 150,000 a month to stay level, and so we've seen job increases, but not much above the level you have to really reduce unemployment. And if wages aren't increasing, the net money circulating in isn't where it needs to be. So I'm worried about that. And what I think what I would like to be in a position where we were with Mr. Volcker. One of his associates just retired from the Fed now. Brookings said that Mr. Volcker said enough is enough. We have to get off this road. And he stood firm. They protested. They asked for his resignation. Tractors circled his building, probably some from North Dakota. And Alabama too, probably. But he said, we knew we were right. We knew we were right. And I just don't sense we have that kind of leadership today. I was disappointed that the new Chief of Staff, Mr. Daley, taunted the Republicans on his Sunday show Sunday, saying, where's the beef? You tell me where you're going to cut. What did that mean? I say that means that the administration isn't prepared to lead. They're not prepared to discuss the seriousness of the challenge we face and suggest that if somebody else steps up and makes suggestions about how to reduce this deficit, they may well even be attacked by the president and his administration. So I hope that's not true, but that's what it seemed to suggest for me. And I didn't see the kind of leadership I hoped for in the State of the Union. So, Mr. Chairman, you said a few things political. I said a few things political. But the truth is our country is in serious trouble. You and I both agree with that. And we're going to have to work together to do better. And thank you for calling this hearing.